With over $250 billion in stock value wiped away in one day, Anthropic's latest contribution to the AI space is something we got to talk about. Let's jump into Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork initiated what some have called the SaaSpocalypse. As this new functionality launched, Wall Street got real skeptical about traditional software because of all the things that Cowork can do. But for you and I, let's start learning what Cowork actually can do and how we can get started with it. So let's jump in. First, I'm just going to start here at the blog release for Claude Cowork. This is something I might recommend you take a look at. I'll put a link in the description just to kind of get a feel for what Cowork is and what Claude is thinking and the Anthropic team is thinking. We're capturing this video now because it is available both in Mac and Windows. So if you're a Claude subscriber, and whether you use Mac or Windows, you can jump in. If you don't use Claude, stick around for a little longer because you might want to have a perspective of what Cowork can do, because I anticipate it coming to more AI tools in the near future. So available in Windows, available in Mac. I also just want to highlight that they've introduced global and folder instructions. So we're going to jump into that in a little bit. My general perspective on Cowork. So let's go here. It's on the desktop app. So you got to download the full app. You can't use it in a browser yet. So download it, that desktop app. I'm here in Claude, and I'm going to go to the Cowork tab. You see that right there up at the top? So I'm going to tab over to Cowork. Cowork essentially is the next step in AI. Okay, so oversimplifying here a little bit, we started with AI as a handy helper, a magic 8-ball as an example. You go to it with your questions, you shake it up, it gives you a magical answer. And then you go back to your work and go execute. Then the next level we saw was bringing AI closer to you. So we saw AI tools sort of embedded in software, whether it's in your Office apps or some of your favorite software. They might have an AI tool where you can ask questions and get answers without sort of context switching completely. Then we saw agentic browsers start to come out, where your browser, where you consume a lot of software, has AI capabilities and agentic capabilities where the AI could say, oh, I see what you're looking at, and I can do some clicks for you. I can take some actions for you. Now we're seeing a more comprehensive agentic experience that lives on your computer and can do much more and is less constrained than just the browser. So those steps. And this is a pretty big one, jumping from maybe just the browser to almost everything you do digitally. So here in Cowork, there's a little setup steps you have to take, but it's pretty easy. And we're going to just go through a couple of quick examples so you get a feel for what Cowork can maybe do for you. All right. And we're just going to try to tackle some of the default ones. But remember, I highlighted from that blog article that there's now a global instructions capability. You may have seen in previous content where we talk about personalizing your AI for you, and you can do the same for Cowork. So in Claude, we're going to go down to my settings, and we're going to go to the Cowork tab. And here you can edit global instructions. Just a reminder that personalization, instructions, memory, all kind of cut from the same cloth. You want to take advantage of those features. So here I want to add instructions, and basically this is context that Claude will use every time in every Cowork session. So what would I want Cowork to know about who I am, how I work, and what I want it to do? That's what you're going to put in here. Now, a blank screen can always be intimidating, this blank page. So I always recommend that you use your AI helper. And we're not going to show it today, but what I would personally do is head over to chat, perhaps, and say, I'm setting up Cowork. I'm setting up my global instructions. I want you to walk me through the process and ask me questions so that I can get a concise, helpful set of instructions to start with. Over time, and with more experience with something like Cowork, you might learn your instructions need modification. That's great. You just got to start somewhere. So I'm going to do our examples today without instructions. But I encourage you to take a few minutes to get something in here before you get started. All right, with that, let's head back to the Cowork section. And we're going to start with some simple examples. What I love here is, of course, Claude understands, Anthropic understands with new capability comes a lot of curiosity, but also confusion. Like, what should I do here? How can I get started? I love that it's giving me some examples, and we're going to just choose from here. So I'll organize my screenshots. I actually love this example because I take tons of screenshots throughout the day to show colleagues, like, what am I looking at? And what's this thing? And, let me show you this thing I found online. So screenshots is a huge mess for me. You'll see first, it says, I want permission to modify a certain area on your computer. Read the fine print, okay? Do not do anything, ever, that is against your organization's AI policies and permissions, okay? So make sure you feel comfortable moving forward. Claude Cowork can make augmentative changes. It can also make destructive changes. So it can permanently delete things. In this case, I'm going to allow it. However, I personally know that my screenshots don't go to my desktop, okay? They go to my screenshot folder inside my pictures folder. So I'm going to change that down here in the bottom left. I'm going to change its focus because otherwise it's probably not going to be very effective. You'll even see here, I've got my screenshot folder pinned, but of course I could just go down the file structure, pictures, screenshots, get here. Okay, it doesn't show my screenshots because it's just looking for a folder. So I'll select that folder. It's going to say same thing. In this case, I'm not ready to jump all the way into the ocean. So I'm not going to click always allow, but just this time I'll allow it. Then it's provided me with a sample prompt. I'm just going to modify it real quick. Again, now we're not in my desktop. So I've given it a greater focus. So I want to focus on screenshots from the last 14 days. You know what? I just want it to go all in. I just want to go all in. Let's see. Okay. For each one, identify what it shows, suggest a descriptive and brief file. And brief file name. So let's try that out. And then propose which folder it belongs to, group similar screenshots together, show me the plan before making changes, after I approve, Okay, I like it, right? I can change my model that I want to use. In this case, I'm just gonna go full octane here. We're gonna go Opus 4.6, but that can be adjusted based on your usage limits and what you're trying to accomplish. And let's see it run. Okay, so I get my first interaction with my AI agent Cowork that has done some background research and is now asking me questions. Let's see. Do you consider recent? I'm going to push it. So let's just do all files. Let's see. Where should organized files go? I'm going to go with both. I want the rename plan and I want subfolders. I love its careful attention to understanding what I'm asking for. That's one of the steps that we can really struggle with is delegation. What we have here is our delegatee, our agent that we've delegated this task to, is asking clarifying questions, which is always kind of a warm fuzzy, right? So it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable that I've given it this task. As Cowork continues to work, you'll notice on the right-hand side that its progress is being tracked. It developed these steps, and me as the AI overseer can monitor its progress throughout the task. Now, you'll notice it's landed on presenting its plan to me. So let's scroll down and take a look. 1,000 files. Here's the categories that it has identified. Okay, interesting. Now take a look at this, delete candidates. It found 31 files that were no good. Wow, right? Wow, okay. Then it identifies its next approach. Is this what you want me to do? Now let me take a quick review. Looks good to me. Let's move forward. All right, looks like step 4 has been completed, and I have some things to review. As I review this, now during this video, we have shortened some sequences. So it has taken 5 to 8 minutes here to kind of get to this point in the process. Now, letting Cowork go after it for the remaining 1,000 plus files will take some time, okay? And perhaps you could argue that I might if I was in the right headspace and had the right capacity, I could really get to work on this. Frankly, for 10 videos, or 10 10 screenshots, I could beat AI. For 1,000, I don't think I stand a chance. Plus, you need to consider the opportunity cost. With Cowork, I can set it and forget it. We've been watching this whole process, but that is not what we needed to do. We could have set Cowork on the task, left, and then just popped back over whenever we needed to check in on it and maybe move it a step forward. The opportunity here is delegation of tasks that we couldn't delegate to AI before because of its constraint. It was constrained to the chat experience. It was constrained to an application. It was constrained to a browser. Those constraints are falling by the wayside. And that's why everyone is so excited and why we saw such an impact on Wall Street recently as this functionality came out. Now, to save you the time, I won't complete this exercise today, but I think you're seeing what this can do. Let's take a look at my screenshot folder to see what the early signs of progress have been. I had no folders here before, and now it went and created those folders, and you'll notice it started to populate those folders for me. Hands-free from Chandler, Cowork has been working on my behalf. Now, this is a simple example to get started, but that's what we just got to do, right? Start simple. Claude users, so excited for you to try Cowork soon. For those of you that are not Claude users yet, hopefully you can see where AI is headed and you can start to imagine use cases so that when you get functionality like this, you can take advantage of it. Today, as we've jumped into Cowork to see and learn more, I think you can see we have a great opportunity here to make AI work at work.